What is up, my friend? Donny Baker here with the LPR Sound Foundation. Happy you're here. Today we're going over our final mix, and the song has been approved by the artist, and I'm going to show you what I did, kind of what some of the things I think are special on my mix. Your mix is still available. I'll put a link right here. You guys can go grab the files. It's a Pro Tools session. Go grab the Pro Tools session, mix it, submit it. Let's see how you do. Okay. Today also I'm going to show you how I would master this record. I am not mastering this album. Someone else. So we're sending this out. We're sending this out to Mike Milchner of Sonic Vision Mastering. If you guys don't know who he is, I'll put a link here to his site. You guys can go check him out, see what he's done, see who he's worked with. Great mastering guy. If you do need some mastering, call Mike. He's awesome. Tell him I sent you. He'll give you a little discount, or he might charge you more depending on how he feels about me that day. But no, I'm kidding. Mike's a great guy. I've been working with him for decades. So I'm going to show you some stuff on this mix. I'm going to share with you some of the things I think are cool, some of the things the artist thought was pretty cool that I did. And then we're gonna print it and bring it into a mastering session. So if you guys are ready, let's go over to the computer here real quick, see what's up. I'm just gonna play it for you, play you my mix, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. Okay? Here we go.
Started with the selfie, right at PJ. She showed me a little cheeky, some fly and some nay. I said, hey, I can't work with this, give me something more. Then she sent a smokeless shot, I fell out on the floor. Story of a man, Lord knows he is weak. He gon' do anything she want, just for a little peek. Smokeless woman, she knows what she's doing. Let her ruin everything you worked for. Smokeless woman, she knows what she's doing. Follow her, she'll roll you over in the end. Next she sent a video, kicking up her feet. That guy was getting freaky, I knew we had to meet. She said, hey, this show's just for you, and opened up her door. And I got so excited, I fell out on the floor. Story of a man, Lord knows he is weak. He gon' do anything she want, just for a little peek. Smokeless woman, she knows what she's doing. Let her ruin everything you worked for. Smokeless woman, she knows what she's doing. Follow her, she'll roll you over in the end.
Anyway, that's pretty much the entire song. There's another chorus, and there's a little breakdown, another chorus after that. But here's the deal, man. Go back and look at the first video I did about the drum recording. The artist was not here for that one. He was here for all the other drum recordings. So he had input telling the drummer how to do telling the drummer how he needed to do what he needed to do. You know what I mean? On this one, he wasn't going to be able to be here. He had another engagement he had to go take care of. So he just said, make it sound like Led Zeppelin. I think we achieved it. A couple of things I had to do. Let me share with you again on this part. A couple of things I had to do to get that. Now, I was panning around a little bit, showing you some stuff when I was playing it. Dude, the hi-hat is panned all the way to the left. Now, I did mix this as though I'm the drummer, which is kind of the Led Zeppelin vibe. It's totally up to you how you mix. Some people like to mix as though they're the drummer. Some people like to mix as though they're looking at the drummer. Okay, I mixed as though I am the drummer. So I'm a right-handed drummer. The hi-hats are over here on far left. Okay, for me, I want to hear it in my left ear. So, and I actually I took one piece of the drums and I added it as another hi-hat. You can see it right here. If I zoom in on it, you can see it right there. Okay, and what that sounds like right here, you see it coming in right here. I'll increase it. That's the foot. That's his foot doing the thing. And that's John Bonham, bro. I mean, seriously, it came out really good. I think the drums came out excellent. I really had a good time. I really had a great time recording these drums, but I had a better time mixing them. And as you can see, let's go look at some of the plugins that I might have used on this. I'm very minimal. I don't use a lot of plugs. You know, I did trigger the main kick. I added some Led Zeppelins. I added an old Led Zeppelin. Steven Slate Trigger has a pack called Old Zepp. So I added an old Zepp kick just to give it that bigness, because we actually I think we played on a 22 by 18, but I wanted that big 26 Ludwig vibe. You know what I mean? So got it, found it, and then on the kick also I just had I was really digging these SSL plugs. Again, these come with your Slate. These come with your Slate stuff. I was really digging this. I used it all over the record. They were fun, and that's pretty much all I have on the kick drum. You know, not a lot. Again, on the snare, I added trigger. I added some Led Zeppelin snares. You know, I just wanted I wanted that Led Zeppelin vibe. But you can see I'm not at 100% mix over here. I'm at 80% mix. So some of my snare is in there with it. Triggers on the toms. Otherwise, it's just EQ. I did add a reverb. The reverb I'm using for the snares is Capitol Chambers from UAD. You can get this on their UAD X, on their I do have a UAD interface, and this is on the UAD, processes on the UAD. It's no difference. You can get it on the UAD X as well. So, nothing on the mono room, nothing on the Amy. I am sending a little bit of the mono room to a room reverb. Other than that, man, there's not a lot. You know what I mean? Again, I did use the SSL channel strip for the overheads in the rooms, and other than that, bro, it's not a lot. Now on my drum bus, I'm digging this Orion, Neuro Audio, digging this. It's the same people that make God Particle, but this is for drums. And you can see I lifted the high end a little bit, added a little bump at 80 hertz for the kicks. Really simple, man, not a lot. I actually turned it down. I actually turned the output of this down so that it wasn't too big. And then I'm using actually an SSL bus compressor. This thing is awesome. Sounds really good. Sounds great. Although I am monitoring on an analog console. Today we're listening to it through my Allen Heath GS3000. I am compressing the master bus. You're hearing a master bus compressor. It is a what is that? That's the Alesis 3630. Not the most expensive bus compressor, or not the most expensive dual channel compressor that you can make into a bus, a stereo bus compressor. I think they're like $129 at Guitar Center today, but dude, they sound really musical. I like it for the gate. I originally bought this for the gate for doing live vocals, but I put it in here and I like how it sounds, so I leave it in here. In the A room, we have the SSL Bus Plus, which is also awesome. I do use that when I mix. Now, a little trick, I mix top down. So whatever I put on, if you're mixing in the box, put whatever you want on your master fader. Make it sound awesome while you mix it. I do put a bus compressor on my master bus, on my 2 bus, my main left and right out on my console, just so it sounds the way I want it to sound while I mix. Now, before I print this to send off to Mike, the mastering guy, I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna bypass it, because I want Mike to do his work. Most mastering engineers like to have between 3 and 6 decibels of headroom, so that they have room to work. If you're mixing at 0 dB, you're mixing it as loud as possible, you're not letting the mastering engineer do his job. So start to mix a little more conservatively, and see what your mastering engineer can do for you. Now, once you connect with a good mastering engineer that you like to work with, and he likes working with you, and he likes your mixes, and you leave him some room to work, you're gonna have a relationship that's gonna last, like Mike and I have known each other for probably 20, maybe 23 years. So Shout out to you, Mike, if you're watching. Appreciate you, man. So let's look at these guitars. Let's see what I got going on the guitar track. Rhythm guitars, not a lot going on. I didn't use the DI. On some of them I did. You can see on this one I'm using, again, a slate, just basically beefing up that one part where I recorded that DI part. But other than that, bro, it is simply EQ and amp models. I did use a Sans amp. Dude, y'all remember the Sans amp from back in the day? I think I got this in my original Pro Tools rig in 2003. Still working. Still using it. Still liking it. But other than that, man, again, I'm very minimal on my mixing. I try to get, let me come back over here. I try to get, and you should too, try to get the sound you want with your microphones. Try to dial in the sound you want on your guitar amp and record that. That makes mixing so much easier. I mean, honestly, I mixed this song in a couple hours. You know what I mean? The song kind of mixed itself. It's so simple. I mean, you get the sound you want. Now, of course, if you get sent a song, you get sent a multi-track that you didn't have any control over the recording of, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult because you didn't control it. But now you have to make it sound awesome. So if somebody just throws up a piece of crap mic and records it without dialing in a tone or setting the mic just right, or maybe EQing and compressing on the way in, I did EQ and I did compress on the way in. The compressor I like to use on loud electric guitars is I have a Uri, or Uri, however you want to say it, LA4. And I got a pair of those from 1976, bro. Just amazing. If you guys get your hands on some vintage gear, man, jump in. I'm serious. Vintage gear never loses its vibe. It never loses its feeling. It's always going to be there for you. So back to looking at the mix. On the master bus, on the bus for the rhythm guitar, I'm using this X-Track Pro, X-Rack. I'm using this X-Rack Pro. This is designed to mix buses. That's what it's for. I wouldn't use this necessarily on a master bus. A little too harsh for me on that. But if you look at it, I mean, I'm saturating a little bit. I'm adding a little bit of maximizing as not soft clipping or hard clipping at all. I am cutting some of the lows. Getting rid of some of the lows in your guitar is going to help your kick and your bass stand out a little bit more. So keep that in mind. But look, this is really simple. I am adjusting the transient just a bit so it punches a little more. Other than that, bro, I mean, that's all I have on the rhythm guitar. I am sending to a reverb and a chorus and a delay. I'm sending to a chorus and delay. And I do return those separately on my console so I can adjust depending on the song. Because when we're mixing multiple songs, I want to have access to it. If I want to ride it, I can ride it. This console doesn't write automation. I don't write a lot of automation, only when I have to. If I have to ride a fader on my console during a print, I will. Okay, let's take a look at the solo guitar. Now the solo guitar, same guitar, same guitar player. Might have been a different guitar, definitely a different amp, definitely a different setup, definitely a different speaker, amp cabinet. Again, so simple, bro. I dialed in, I got 2 EQs, and that's it. I'm not using the DIs. I just used this, oh no, I'm sorry, it's a Sans amp, and it is on the DI. So I'm using a Sans amp. Other than that, not using anything except for this SSL channel strip. And I am adding a little guitar amp to it and driving it a little bit. That's all. So just to give that, let's go back and take a look at this. We'll take a listen to this. Now I know you can tell in that section he went to a wah and he brought the wah in, so that's a little bit different, and that's why I'm affecting it differently with a different Sans amp. It's just a different tone, so I wanted it dialed in a little bit different, and that's all on that. So yeah, let me show you what I did to the bass on here. The bass was really simple. The bass got recorded. The bass player is actually in he is in St. Louis, I believe, and so this is all I had on the bass. What is this tube channel strip? that was pretty much it, man. I think I pulled a preset from Jacques King and dialed it in a little bit more, and that was pretty much the sound of my bass, dude. Really, really simple. Again, I got a great recording from the bass player I got a great recording from Eric. So once you get a great recording, mixing is simple. So there you go. On vocals, what did I do on vocals, you're asking? I'm glad you asked. So on lead vocals, this is what we did. Again, lead vocals. I'm using this, that's my reverb. My delay, of course, is Echo Boy. I love this on vocals. I always use the dual echo. Here's a trick. I always do this. I have one side at an eighth note and the other side at a quarter note. So it's a little bit different. So it gives your listener a little bit, a little something, wait, a little bit more on that side. Yeah. So I just like it a little bit different. That is one of my favorite things to do, is to add a little bit of something to the song so the listener's not getting bored. You know what I mean? So the listener's like, oh shit, there's something different going on over there than there is over there, and that's kind of cool. Other than that, again, man, you pick the right mic, you pick the right, you pick the right microphone, you pick the right distance, you pick the right preamp, you pick the right compressor, you dial it in, make it sound the way you want it to sound, then mixing is simple. Now, I am using this Xbox Pro for all my vocals. This thing honestly is like cheating. I got a compressor, I got a de-esser, I got an EQ, I'm not using reverb and delay on this one. I do on other songs and maybe on the background vocals, but I like capital chambers for lead vocals. So I try to use that whenever it needs to, because that's just going to give it that vintage vibe and that feel. So, but other than that, man, I love this tape saturation. I can add a little tape saturation. You can change this. You can add a chorus, modulations. I love this, and you can dial it in. You can dial in how much, and of course, I'm cutting off some of the lows, cutting off a little bit of the highs because we didn't need them. He got a little bit crispy, so I am de-essing a little bit, just because some of the S's were sticking way out there. But other than that, bro, that is it on the lead vocals. On the background vocals, I do have Xbox Pro. I am using the reverb and delay on there. Again, an eighth note delay. I'm adding a little. And the thing I love about this plugin is that you got a reverb duck and a delay duck. You usually have to do this with, you have to side chain it to another channel, put a gate so that when the thing comes out, it's going to duck down a little bit. It's crazy. This has it built in. I'm serious, man. This plugin is like cheating. It really is, and it's super cheap. I think it's $150. Bro, I use it on all. I use it everywhere. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's not a good thing, but maybe it's not a good thing that I'm telling you my secrets. But there you go. So hey, let's do this. Let's come back up over here. Let me go print this. I won't make you sit through the whole thing. We'll print this, and then what we will do is we'll bring it into a mastering session. So let me go do that real quick. All right, it's time to go do some mastering. I've already set up the session. I've already done a little bit of tweaking on it. I'll show you what I did. I'll show you. Just bring your track in. You print your 2-track. You export it as a 2-track file in the same. Use the same bit depth and sample rate that you used in your session. Okay, we'll convert to 16-bit 44.1 at the mastering stage. All right, I don't know. I've always done it that way. I feel like it's better to let the mastering guy do that part of it. Okay, even though it might sometimes be you as the mastering person, do it that way. If you work at 32-bit, 48K, 96K, whatever, print your track as that, and then bring that into another session that is 32-bit, 96K, whatever you're working in. For me, I'm 24-bit, 48K. So my mastering session is at 24-bit, 48K. When I output that, I'm gonna make it 16:44:1. Okay, I'm gonna let the dither do the dithering. Okay, so let's take a look at this session. This is what I got. This is where I'm at. I'm using just the stock EQ. I like it. It doesn't doesn't do anything. You can see the waveform here. It's not that big. I think the output was about -6 is what it was. I metered it on the way out. It was about -6. This, I like this meter. This is a Klanghelm, just a VU meter. I have VU meters on my console. I like that. I understand it. I know where I want it, so it sounds great. And I'm gonna explain that to you when I get to that part. The multi-band, dude, mastering is super, super simple. Okay, you need an EQ, a multi-band compressor. Now, for me, this is the only place that I use a multi-band compressor. Again, I'm using my mics to get the sound that I want. I don't need to dial things in the recording process. I use a multi-band compressor on the mastering session because I want to be able to maybe not affect the low frequencies, but only get to the middle frequencies. Okay, so I use it there. Again, super simple L2 as a limiter. This is where you're going to get your volume. Okay, you're going to shape your sound with your EQ and your multi-band compressor. You're going to push your volume up a little bit with a limiter. Okay, you see I've got my limiter ceiling, my out ceiling at 0. Now my meter, I want my meter like right at 0. Okay, I want the peak. This is an RMS meter, meaning it's going to meter the peaks as well as the overall average. Okay, so you see the peaks are on this side. This is that little red line right there. The overall average is the needle on the VU. Okay, and I want that to just touch on -4. Okay, between -4 and -8. Kind of don't want it to go below -8. Don't want it to go above -4. -6 is perfect. So if you can keep it steady right there. But this, I'm keeping some dynamics in this song, so it's moving a little bit. Okay, I'm not just making a big ass block of that's the type of music that it is. If it's hip hop, yeah, you might want that block so that the bass is hitting right. So you can see what I did here. I'm just I pushed the threshold up a little bit. I'm adding 1.2 decibels of gain. Again, 1 decibel. I'm not pushing a lot. 0.6. I mean, I'm not pushing that a lot. Okay. Do this little bridge part.
Her eyes caress my soul.
And all I'm using, literally all I'm using, is the equalizer, multi-band compression, and L2. That's it. Okay, I do have another version of it where I use the God particle. So if we go to, let me push the L2 below the God particle. Yes, replace please. All right, so I'm gonna push that below. I'm gonna God particle it, and then I'm going to limit it. Okay, so if my God particle is here, this is what I've done. Let's take a listen. I muted the other two. Yeah, it's a little bit too loud, so I might turn it down. Bring the threshold up a little bit, so it's like between -4 and -6. I'll push it a little bit so you can hear it. Here you can see what the God particle's doing, man. It's adding some depth and some wideness to it. Now I need to bring the volume back up. Wait till the loud part. I just added one more dB to it there. So now, here's what else we're gonna do. Let me close some of these down so you can see what the session looks like. All right. Here's the deal, man. I print internally. I don't use. On this one, I'm printing in the box. I'm not using the console. I did bypass the bus compressor, so you're not hearing that. Okay. So I am going to print this internally, and I'm still going to do it in real time because I want to run through everything. If you look at my routing, the output of this track goes to the sub master. The sub master is here. There's the input. This output of the submaster goes to the print track, and the output of the print track is going to the master fader so we can hear it. Okay, and I do have the meter on the master fader, so that's metering what's coming out. Okay, so if we go print this, all we got to do is press record. Take a listen.
Started with a selfie, rated PJ. She showed me a little cheeky, some fire and some name. I said, hey, I can't work with that.
Okay, and then that's pretty much it. Bro, you can see the difference in the waveform. Now, I like a little dynamic on there. I do keep a little bit of dynamics moving on there, and nothing's peaked. Everything is, it's at 0. So, I mean, this is perfect. This is a great way to do it. So, next thing you want to do is you want to label this the name of your song, Smokeless Woman. And I like to do Final Master 1, FM1. I'm going to let the artist hear it. He might want to have tweaks. He might say, oh, I wish it was a little bit brighter in this section, whatever. Then that one will be Final Mix 2 or Final Master 2, so on and so on and so on. There you go, but I generally know he's going to love this one. So then all you got to do is, once you've named it, is export it. Make sure you select it. Make sure you select just this one and export it as you want. Now, this is where we're going to change it to 16-bit 44.1, okay? And I'm just going to stick it on the desktop so I know where it is. And there you go. And then it is interleaved. It's a WAV file. You can also do MP3s here, and or AIFF, whatever you need. I just generally going to do a WAV file, and I'm going to export it. There you go. It's out. It's done. So look, we do this every month inside of the LPR Sound Foundation VIP community. I'll put a link to it right here. You guys can go take this VIP community for a test drive for a month. If you don't like it, get out. It's super cheap. There's so much in there. There's a monthly mix challenge. This one I did open up to everyone. We put this one out to you guys. We put this one out to everyone, so you can see how it's done, why it's done, why we do this, why we do that. How are you going to learn? Inside the community, though, you're going to have access to other members. And you can get ideas. You can share. Man, we share templates. We share free plugins. Sometimes we run across free plugins that are awesome. We're going to share that. The community is that exactly what it is, man. It's the community, and it's not expensive at all. Go take it for a test drive. I'll put another link to it right here. Just go get a 30-day trial. Go check it out. If you missed any of this, I'll link to it right here. See you next time. Donny B, I am out. Peace.